Hello and welcome to the Photoshop CS6 intro tutorial. I am so excited to get you guys started into Photoshop because it is one of my favorite programs. Today we're going to be going over what does Photoshop look like, what and where are the menu bar, options bar, toolbox, and palettes, and you guys are going to be setting up your own workspace. So we'll go over how to set that up and how to save it. So every time you log in, it should be saved. What I'm going to do is go ahead and start by opening up Photoshop. Now this is a program that you're going to be seeing for the next few months. If you ever look at YouTube tutorials or any other websites that show you how to do things in Photoshop, you may have different versions. On our computers here we have CS 5.1, which is the old version, so we're not going to open that one up. All of the programs pretty much look the same as far as their layout. However, we want to use the most recent, which is going to be Adobe Design and Web Premium CS6. So when you click on that All Programs, you may have to scroll down till you get to the Adobe Design and Web Premium CS6. Go ahead and open that up, and you're going to see Adobe Photoshop CS6. You'll notice Photoshop is opening by this dark blue Atwater color box, and of course Photoshop pops right open. This version of Photoshop does have this darkened interface, which means the colors and the vibrancy of your work is going to show up better. It's always best to work with a dark interface when you're working with photographs. So first off, we have very similar to most programs. You've got your menu bar up here. Things like File allows you to open and save as, how to edit things, how to manipulate your image, how to work with your layers, which we're going to talk about, how to affect certain types of text, how to select things, and Photoshop has some really cool filters that we're going to play with. Of course, there is a 3D option, which hopefully we'll get to. These are going to be all of your palette options. You can see the three that I have up right now are History, Layers, and Navigator. Now directly underneath your menu bar is going to be your options bar. Now because multiple students use these computers, you're going to find that sometimes you're trying to use a tool and it's not working the way that I showed you because somebody else has set these options up here for a different reason. So maybe they've changed the opacity, it's not 100%, or the flow, or the type of brush, or the size of the brush. And if you're not familiar with the options bar, you won't know to look here and fix what somebody else has set. The toolbar is connected, the options bar is connected to your toolbar or your toolbox, which is on the left. You can move it around, but we usually tack it on the left right there. Let's see if I click on another tool, like the first tool, which is the Move tool. Now, the wonderful thing about the toolbox is if you just hover your mouse over, it will tell you what the tool is, and it gives you the shortcut for it. So the Move tool is the V key. So if I want to switch to that Move tool, hitting the V key on my keyboard, boom, it pops right up there, and you can see my options bar has also changed. So if you watch the options bar, I'm just going to click on these different tools, and you'll see that every time I click on it, it changes. If you right click on the tool, it's going to give you some more options. This little tiny triangle in the bottom right hand corner tells you that there are more tools underneath the tool that's on top. Okay. Again, you can move your toolbar, you can make it 2 columns or 1. Your toolbox is right there, and it is connected to your options bar, so make sure you're aware of that. On the right hand side, we have the palettes. Similar to an artist palette, this is where most of our helpful things are going to be as we're working. So the navigator is going to show you where you are in your picture and what picture is actually being active, because you can open up multiple pictures in this workspace area. The history is going to tell you what you've done, and if you messed up, you can go back. Yay! And the layers palette is going to show you if you have one layer, which is a basic photograph, or if we're going to cut things out and pop them onto different layers. This is going to be very, very important for you Photoshop users once we get into some crazy stuff. The palettes, just like the toolbar over there, toolbox, can be moved. They can be attached to one another. They can be pulled out from one another or tucked in. You can see the blue highlighted area tucks things in, or we can close it all together. Sometimes you'll accidentally do that, and just know that if you go to the window, you should be able to find the three palettes that we're going to use most often, which is going to be the navigator. So first off, if I pull these out and I close them individually, when I bring them back, it might only give me one. So we'll start with the navigator. Again, it's going to allow you to zoom in and out of the picture. I don't have a file open right now for you, but that is, it's going to navigate or show you where you are in the picture. The next one is going to be history. It does show you what you've done, where you've been, and you can go back about 10 to 15 steps. So keep an eye on that. It'll tell you what you've done, especially if you hit something and you don't know what you've done. You're like, oh my gosh, how did that happen? Look at your history. And the last one is going to be the layers palette. So I'm going to throw the layers palette down here, try to attach it. Can I get it to attach? There we go. So now it is one solid block. And you can see my name is up here. It's not because I'm super popular and that I'm part of the program. It's because I set my workspace. So sometimes when you get into Photoshop, it might look different and you've got all this random stuff. If you set your workspace up and save it, it'll always go back to what you have. And you can see mine, Ekman, is Navigator, History, Layers. So once you've pulled those three out, go ahead and go to Window, Workspace, New Workspace, and go ahead and type in your name. I'm going to hit Save, and it says it already exists because I already made one. Yes. So now you can see it says Student Sample. Every time you open up Photoshop, take a look at that top right corner. If your name's not up there, see if you can select it, because it'll bring up your three most used palettes for this class. I'm going to go ahead and pause so you guys can write down some information like the menu bar, the options bar, the toolbox, and the palettes. Now that you have those written down in your notes, again, if you need to pause and write down those, you can. We're going to go over again what the menu bar is. It's pretty standard. It allows you to open and save. With most software, you're going to have these menu items at the very, very top. What's interesting about Photoshop is the options bar, and you have to pay attention to that options bar again because you have multiple users on the same computer and people will set options based on the projects that they're doing. So if you're not doing that project and again you're trying to use a tool and it's not working properly, it might be because somebody has changed your options up here. So the options bar is directly related to the toolbox, which is on the left hand side. Again, holding your mouse over shows you what the tool name is and also the shortcut key for it. The crop tool is C, so if I press C, it jumps to the crop tool, and I can check up here and see that somebody has set it to a 4x5. Now if I'm working with a different size, I'm going to have to go ahead and reset that, and we're going to go over that in one of the next few lessons. On the right hand side you have your palettes, and the palettes are going to allow you to zoom in and out with the navigator, see what you've done in the history, and pay attention to how many layers of work you have on your project. I want to do a quick demonstration on how to do that. So let me just open up a file, File Open, and you guys are probably going to be working with USB drives, or you're going to be downloading something from your Google Drive and then placing it in the libraries folder on the computer. I suggest just using a USB drive because if you move a computer, your images are not going to be there. So I'm going to go into the sample pictures and I'm going to select one and then try to select another. Now if you open it up and you're looking at a list view, let's say I didn't save these as proper names, I won't know what picture is what. So you can come up here to the menu and you can view them as large icons or extra large icons, and you can try to select them. If I try to select more than one, it kind of jumps around unless you hold down the control key. So holding down the control key allows me to select more than one. Control, click and drag, I can select 3 in a row. So let's go ahead and open those, and you're going to see that they open up across the top right underneath the options bar. Yes. So right now you can see your navigator is active. It's showing that we are looking at the yellow tulips. You can see the only thing I've done to this is history. In the history is open it. Your navigator allows you to zoom in and out and move around the photograph, which is really helpful when we're going to be cutting things out. You can pull that title bar down and pull your files out so they're all sort of floating in a window. So if you're not sure which picture is active, again, take a look at your navigator. It's going to show you what you've got. Now for now I'm going to stop because I don't want to go too far into what we can do with these pictures, but for right now hopefully you know where your menu bar is, your options bar, your toolbox, your palettes, and dragging your pictures out of the background. They can even pop in and out of different files. You can see now jellyfish and chrysanthemum are together, or you can drag them out into 5 separate windows. Alright, I can't wait to get started with you guys. Please let me know if you have any questions. Let's go ahead and start setting up our own workspace with our names in the top right corner.